Alright folks, it's Tom and Frugal Prepper. So this car won't start. Before I pull the timing belt off, I went ahead last night, I took the camshaft out, rotated it 360 degrees and tried it again, and it did the exact same thing. This works is your camshaft turns exactly 2 times for every time the crank turns, right? And you have an up mark and 2 marks here. So when you put the belt on, you can put that on up here, or you could turn it again and put it up there. It doesn't matter, because your pistons are going to be at top dead center. They're either going to, depending on how you set the cam, that piston's going to be on top dead center for the exhaust or for the compression, right? I don't think the timing's off, but it's not starting. It kind of wants to fire on 2 of the cylinders, but not the other 2. So I'm thinking it's these valves, and I thought, well, maybe the new valves are not worn out as much, and they're just a little bit longer, so they're hanging open. But these are 4.570, and my old valves, 4.577. So if those were longer, it wouldn't be adjusted far enough to push them down as far, but it shouldn't hold them open. So I'm thinking if the exhaust valves didn't open, it would still take in an intake, fire the cylinder, and then it should come back up for an exhaust stroke. But maybe, I don't know. But what I'm going to do before I pull the timing belt and look at it and check the timing is I'm going to go ahead and just adjust those valves and make sure the valve lash is correct, and then try to start it again. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the spark plugs out so that I can turn the engine over easier. Okay, so my exhaust valves are supposed to be 0.9 to 0.11, and so I'm going to just put them all at 10, and I have to turn this. So you can find top dead center on your cylinder and stuff, but as long as the intake valves are down, the exhaust valves are closed. Okay, so these 2 down here are the exhaust valves I replaced. These are not, but I have turned this engine over now, so I just saw these intake valves start to go down, and these are loose. So we're now going to check them and see if they're 10 thousandths, and we just slide our feeler gauge under there. And 10 thousandths does not fit at all. We'll just go down here, loosen that bolt, and then we'll turn this out. And we'll go in here, set it for 10 thousandths. There we go. Tighten the bolt while we hold that screw in the same place. And now I just have to go through and adjust the rest of these, and then I'll do the intake side.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night.
The intake valve should be 0.8. Alright, we'll go ahead and check them first to make sure they're not already dead on. Too tight. Too tight. think we're ready to try it. Let's give it a shot. See what happens. It still isn't starting. Well, I guess I gotta check the timing belt. Okay, got one. Got back. I got it. Yeah. All right, folks. So it's the next day. It's time to tear the head off of the Honda again. I'm going to check it with my straight edge for warpage this time. I should have just checked last time. I bet it's out by like at least 10 thousandths. Because it is not sealing. Now, this head gasket I use is a cheaper gasket that I got on eBay. Last time I did this, I got a Felpro, which I think is probably why that one sealed and this one didn't. Because this is just too far out of spec to seal on that gasket. I ordered a set of head bolts and another Felpro gasket. They'll be here Saturday. Today's Thursday. So I've tried calling junkyards all day that have one listed on car-parts.com from here to Grand Rapids, Michigan. Nobody will answer the phone. They all go to voicemails or the number's not working. You can't get them to answer the phone. I tried calling all the machine shops around me that I know of today. None of them answer the phone. It goes to voicemail or, it just rings. So if people really want to do work or sell used parts, they have to start by answering the phone. I don't know. But I'm going to get started on this. What I'm going to do now is check it for warpage, see how bad it is. It's not really worked that bad. What the heck? There's a little bit right there, but my 4,000ths won't fit under it. A little bit right there, a little bit right there, and a little bit there. I wouldn't think that one would be so bad it wouldn't seal. Here's my .002. Let's see if it's a 2,000ths will go in there. Right there, it's warped. And that's by the water jacket, so that's probably where it's blown the head gasket and gone up to that water jacket. Let's check this one. That one's warped. We're only off a couple of thousandths, maybe 3 thousandths at the most. That one's pretty big. Let's check that one again with the 4 thousandths gauge. Yeah, that one's off by 4. That one's off by 4. This isn't quite off by 4, but let's do it at an angle. There. That one's off. That's 3 and 4 thousandths difference on this whole head. Well, normally I wouldn't think that'd be bad enough to cause a head gasket not to seal, but I had the cheap eBay head gasket as well, so that might have led to it not sealing. I also noticed when I pulled this head back off, the bolts just didn't seem nearly as tight as they did when they came out. So that probably means my head bolts have been stretched one too many times, so it'll need the new head bolts. It was definitely blowing from this one to this one. It was not blowing to these two from here. So I don't know how that's possible unless we didn't seal up to the water jacket and it was bleeding that pressure through the water jacket. Probably. So I think if I do a resurface on this and I put a good Velcro gasket on with new head bolts, I'm hoping it's going to seal up and it's going to work. Now I'm going to also check the deck of the engine to see if it's warped excessively. So we're just going to start checking this. Just a little play there. So the 4 thousandths is fine on there. Now we're going to go back and check it with the 2 thousandths gauge. It does start to slip under there in a couple of spots, but not very well. So we're running a little less than 2 thousandths, between 1 and 2 thousandths. So I'm going to go look up the specs on this. Engine block warpage, check the surface. 3 thousandths is a max. So according to this engine's in spec. I mean, with about 2 thousandths, maybe it gets towards 0.3 on the head, and we're just barely 2 thousandths, maybe in one spot on that deck. It's in spec. It did not seal. I think that eBay head gasket was a piece of crap. And I think I needed new cylinder head bolts. I think those bolts didn't pull it down tight enough. And that gasket was a piece of crap. As far as I can tell. I mean, I'm going to recheck the valves and make sure they're all sealing. I'm going to clean up and I'm going to sand down this head.